All right, so here we go. What I've decided is we're going to do this text here, the Pepsi, two different ways. So because of that, we're going to make a copy of this bottle over here to the side, something like that. There we go. So now, on the first bottle, what I want to do is I want to make my text go into the bottle that same amount, that 0.03 inches in diameter, as we did on this text that we made it come out. So, very similar to that, what we're going to do is we're going to come up here on the top. We're going to draw a cylinder attached to my top surface. Now this cylinder, I'm going to make 0.03 smaller than this number. So 2.8, 0.03 smaller would be a diameter of, I'm going to hit D for diameter, 2.77 inches. 2.77 inches. And hit enter. It's going to draw that cylinder down through there. And I'm just going to pull it all the way through so I can select it easily. Now, differently than what I did before, I'm going to, first, I'm going to change this to white. But now, differently than what I did before, I did an intersection of the two. Here, I don't want to do an intersection. This time, I want to subtract. SU for subtract. I want to make sure I get all the pieces of the text. So I'm going to come over here with a crossing and get all of those. I'm going to subtract that cylinder from the text. So again, what I did there is I went SU for subtract, selected all of my text, hit enter, selected my cylinder, and subtracted it. Now what that's done for me is this. Let me move this text out of here. All my text is curved along the bottom of it. So I'm going to move it back into place. And now all I'm going to do is simply go subtract. SU for subtract. Select subtract from the bottle, the text from it. And now look, my Pepsi is sunk into the bottle exactly. It's 0.03 in diameter, so it's actually sunk in there 0.015 inches into the bottle. And that's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. All right. So now, on this bottle, we're going to do just the opposite. We're going to make our text raise up from the surface. So again, very much the same, almost the same as what we did before. We're going to draw a cylinder. The cylinder we're going to attach up here to the top surface to that center point. Again, this, remember, we're going to make it stick out. So this cylinder we're going to make 0.03 larger than this number. So we're going to make it D diameter 2.83. Pull that cylinder down and through. Again, I'm going to make that white. And this time, remember, I'm going to do an intersection. Now, here's a little bit of a tidbit on this. Let's do an intersection and see what we get. Intersection of the word Pepsi, intersection of the bottle, everything disappears. The reason for that, remember, is if you do an intersection of more than one object, or more than two objects, it's going to do where all of them cross. This word Pepsi is made up of several different objects. So before we do an intersection, we have to union the text together. So the text is one. Now we're going to do an intersection of the text, the one thing, and the cylinder. Enter. And now that text sticks out there, that 0.15 or 0.015 inches. All right, so that's got that portion of it done. One with the bottle text sticking out, one with it sticking in. Let's go back to the front view and take a look at it. So in our front view here, we did have those slid over there to the side. For now, I think I'm going to leave it there. Later, we'll move everything into line nicely. I think now what we want to do is, I want to think. One moment. Okay, sorry about that. I had to think about, for a minute, what I actually wanted to do here. So, first off, what we're going to do is, we're going to use slice, and we're going to slice up our bottle. The whole bottle is not blue. As you see, the top and the bottom portions of the bottle are Pepsi colored. So what we're going to do is we're going to use slice and slice this off. Now, when you slice it, anything that's on the, for example, if I slice it right here, and I make this one color, make this one color. Oh, I'm struggling here. That's interesting. Why can't I make that a different color? There we go. Wow. Make that a different color. If I union this back together, it makes it all one color. The reason for that is because I did it out there in the middle of the object where there were no breaks in the object. Here, where this line is, or where this line is, anywhere where one of those lines are, that's where there's a corner. Where there is a corner, if you slice it there on the corner and change it to a different color, when you union it back together, it will stay that separate color. So for example, if I slice right here from the quadrant of that line, and you do need to be on a conceptual view to see this, and go straight across, hit enter. I have two different colors there. I'm going to change this one to a Pepsi color. I'm going to have to go to more colors. And sure, I see that about that brown color is a Pepsi color. I'm going to slice it down here. I'm going to slice it again right there on that quadrant of that line. I'm going to change that to the same color. My recent color is down here. Whoops, not both of them though. Oh, I did not get a slice for some reason. Let me try again. There we go. We got it sliced that time. Change that color. Now, I'm going to change this to a realistic view and see how close I got on that color. Oh, that's a nice Pepsi color right there. I like it. All right, we're going to go back to conceptual. Up here on the top, the Pepsi doesn't come all the way up into this part of the lid or where the cap would go. So we're going to slice that off there also. And I drew a line and didn't slice. I'm struggling here, guys. There we go. That I'll change back to maybe just a white color for now. So now I'm going to put that back to conceptual, or sorry, to realistic. Hey, there we go. We got a pretty good looking bottle there. And I really think that does look pretty solid. You can go ahead and go union, and actually right now at this point, let's go ahead and just be careful. Don't union together everything. Just union your bottle back together, and we'll see why here in a little bit. So there we go. The bottle is one all solid now. We still have our text sticking in there, and that's beautiful. Go ahead and do that to both bottles, and we'll move on with that next step here as soon as you get that done. I'm going to pause. Okay, so I did pause there, and so what I did here, and I wanted to show you this, but I wanted to give you a chance to think about this on your own for a second. Instead of going through all the slicing and all that and slicing this bottle up and changing the colors, instead of doing that, I put a layout line that went to the top center of the bottle right there and just up to the side. Doesn't matter where that layout line goes. Then what I did is I thought about this, and this isn't going to work. I was going to do this for you. I was going to erase this bottle and do that, but that won't work because this bottle, we have the words sunk into it and all that. So you know what? What I was thinking there first off won't work. You will have to go ahead and slice this bottle the other way. Okay, sorry, that was a little bit confusing there, but I was trying to think of an easier way to do that, and it wasn't going to work. Okay, so now I got both of my bottles solid as one. That's one object. This Pepsi, remember, is sunk into the bottle. I get this bottle. It's all solid. Remember, this Pepsi comes out. It's still not union together with those. That's an important part of it right now. So that's got that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is this. I want to hollow my bottles out. The bottles aren't solid all the way through. They do have a solid thickness to the sides of the bottle, but they are hollow throughout the bottle. What we're going to do for that is we're going to use a command called shell. You can't type in shell. When you do that, it comes up with a different shell command. This is a 3D tool. So the only place I know to get to that is go to the 3D tools and look through this list. It's underneath the solid editing section, and it is called shell. The way a shell is, it converts a 3D solid into a hollow shell with a wall of a specific thickness. So it will have thickness to it, the wall, but it will still be a solid. So we're going to go use the shell command. So let's click on shell. The way it works is you select your object, which is that object. Now it says remove faces. So I want this top face removed. So I'm going to come up here on this top face, notice where my cursor is, and click. Oops. And sometimes it doesn't select right. It selected that portion of it. So I'm just going to have to hit escape and try it again. So I'm going to go shell once again. And you have to come back up here to get it again. You can't reach space bar to repeat it. So I'm going to pick shell again. I'm going to pick there. Again, I want to remove this edge. So maybe pick a little bit closer to that edge. This top surface, I should say. There I got it. It's going to take you to some practicing of where to click to get that. Sometimes you won't get it right the first time. So all right, I got it all selected. I removed this top face. Now I'm going to hit enter. Now it asks the shell distance. My distance is going to be 0.05 and hit enter. And it takes a little bit to think. And now notice what you got. You got a hollow bottle that goes through there. If you switch to a straight on view, you can kind of look at that and see what it looks like. It's kind of cool. Let's maybe go to my front view. Well, maybe. Front view. There we go. And I'm just going to use slice. Slice this bottle down and across. Oh, I don't know. Something like that. Get it through the word Pepsi there. And slice that. And there is the bottle. It does make it kind of interesting there where the text is. And it kind of gives you some thickness there on the backside. But that's okay. Now, as we slice through that, you'll notice that my logo sticks inside of there. Couple different ways we could have done that, but I don't want my logo sticking in there like that. So let's undo. Back a couple steps. And there's a couple different ways we could do this. One, I think this is going to be okay. I'm going to go ahead and go union, and I'm going to union all this together to make it all one object. So I'm going to union. Now, honestly, before we do this, I think it's a good idea. Let's go back to go back to our front view. I think it's a good idea to make a copy of these because once you union this, you're really kind of stuck and there's no changes you can do. So I'm going to make a copy of all of those, or both of those. And then now let's union this all together. So let's union this one all into one. Let's union this one all into one. And now let's go ahead and use that shell command on these two bottles. Not on our copy up here where it's separated, but on these two. So I'm going to go back to using this shell command. We're going to select our bottle, remove this top surface, enter, set it to 0.05, enter, and that hollows it out. Let's come over to this one. Let's do our shell command. Again, I hit spacebar to repeat it. It doesn't work on shell that way. Shell, bottle, remove that top surface, hit enter, 0.05, and enter, and there we go. Sometimes in older versions, the shell command tended not to work real well. The more complex your bottle was, that's why I decided, or that's why I wasn't unioning it all together. But it really seemed like it worked pretty good here, so that's why I decided let's go ahead and just give it a shot and see. If your shell doesn't work, let me know, and I'll come up and I'll help you out with that, and we'll get that shell command to work a little bit better. All right, last little tiny tidbit is if you want for independent work points, I'd give you, I don't know, depending on how good it is, anywhere from 0 to 10 points of independent work for making a cap for this. The cap is going to have to be kind of precise to get 10 points out of it. You're going to have some details to it. And I'll show you here on a video. I'll use this last couple minutes of the video to show you a detailed cap versus a not detailed cap. All right, carry on. Okay, so I am going to just make a separate video showing you the cap and how to get some independent work for that. So what I want you to do to finish this up is let's go ahead and erase out our layout. Let's get rid of those layout lines there. And erase all of our layout. I'm in the front view now. I'm going to move my bottles straight over into place, right to there, and all of them. We have these that are not unioned together yet, that are separate still. We have these below that are all unioned as one. These, remember, are the hollow ones. This is the one that has the text sunken into it, and this one has the text raised up from the surface. So everything should be here in a nice straight line, having our original drawing at the top. This one has some of our layout on it. These two bottles, again, are not unioned, and these. So that should kind of be your list of things that you have there. This is a very complex drawing, so I will be grading this from AutoCAD. I will not be grading this from Student View. So you do need to make sure you have your steps here and have all this done. If not, kind of like any math class, if you don't show your work, you're going to get graded down. I don't want to just see the last step done. I want to see it as it works down through and how you went through this process. All right, save this, and I'll grade it from there. It needs to be saved to your practice folder as Pepsi Bottle.